One more question, maybe my favorite of the bunch. We've been collecting letters from all across Springfield, some online and some via papers that were submitted at library branches, City Hall, the Moxie Theater downtown. My favorite is from young Nina Gilman. I unfortunately don't have an age on Nina, but I did want to ask this question. I do think it's important. I want to pose it first to Fred. She said, I think you should let kids vote. It's not very fair that you don't let kids vote. What if grown-ups don't vote? And if grown-ups don't vote, kids will. I just want to vote for mayor. It's really important to me.
Oh.
I need a firm answer on this. Will we see elementary school students voting in the next mayoral election?
Well, we definitely want to get them involved, and the city has done that. I think Greg Burris took some K through 12 students with him on listening tours that he went around. We make a regular case, and we've got members of the network, the young professionals, that we're seeking their guidance and get them engaged. We're using social media wherever we can to reach out to youth, and then a new initiative that the City Council has begun is a student advisory council where they've got students from the various high schools that are meeting with council on a regular basis. The 4 zone council members take care of the neighborhoods. The 4 general council members work with the student advisory council. So we do want to hear from all components and all echelons. Whether they get a chance to cast their vote, we certainly want to hear from them.
That brings up an excellent point. In terms of engagement, I want to start with Kathleen down the line, and we'll have all our panelists answer this. What can young people do, from the very young elementary school kids on up to those in their young 20s, for example? What can they do to get involved in this city? What are the opportunities available to them to be a part of growing Springfield?
Right. Well, as far as the library is concerned, as I mentioned before, teens can volunteer as just in all of the branches doing just helping around the libraries. Teens can also volunteer on panels or on teen advisory panels to kind of have a say in what goes on in their departments. And I think the whole discussion about teens or young people voting, it might give the librarians an idea with the presidential election coming up that maybe we could have a district-wide straw poll and let the kids vote for who they think the president should be and the vice president. That might be kind of a fun project.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie, I wanted to bring it over to you in terms of engagement. What do you, as a longtime Springfield resident, what are you seeing? How can people get more involved in their community?
I think kids always look to adult role models in their lives, whether it's a parent, a grandparent, a special teacher, someone who's a club leader, scouts. There's so many opportunities for them to get involved at school or in clubs, but I would encourage adults to take them along. Many of us volunteer in lots of different ways. Take a young child along. I've found with myself personally, many people that I know, and with children, volunteering and being engaged in things like this, it can be habit forming. And once you get a taste of that and you get energized by that opportunity and being part of that engaged process, you want to continue, you want to go back. And I think if we can engage children, young children, to make volunteering and being engaged a part of their lives, I think we're making a great investment, and chances are they will remain engaged throughout their lives into adulthood.
Michael, I know you have a take on this.
Yeah, I've actually got a whole lesson that I get this question a lot.
We've got about 3 minutes.
Yeah. I would say first that establishing habits of civic participation early is, there's skills involved with it. There are ways of doing it that are effective. There are ways of doing it that are ineffective. My students ask me about this all the time because they want to get involved with things, but they don't know how to get started. And so I tell them that there's the 3 B's that they need to know. They need to be informed, they need to be connected, and they need to be engaged. And so when I say be informed, that means, do you know who your local elected officials are in the community? Such as your district city council representative, the mayor, your state representatives and senators. Do you know how to contact them if you needed to? Where do you get your information, and how do you know it's accurate information? Learn about the community. What are the biggest issues locally? What are the biggest issues nationally? What are the biggest issues internationally? How are they related to each other? Are you thinking and learning about issues from multiple perspectives and basing your opinions on facts? Or are you only getting information from outlets that hold the same political and social biases as you? Follow updates from prominent politicians, think tanks, and news outlets from both sides of the political aisle, using social media to get a more diverse perspective on the issues. The most important thing about being informed is stepping outside of your comfort zone and challenging your own biases and preconceived notions of how the world works. When I say be connected, I mean to share what you learn with your friends and your family, whether it's in face-to-face interactions or it's through social media like Facebook and Twitter and other ways that people are staying in contact. Create new networks for yourself based on mutual interest for what you'd like to see changed or issues that you care about. Organize, strategize, and mobilize your networks to become engaged with the issues that you and your peers care about. And then finally is the engagement part, to be engaged. If you're over 18, make sure you're registered to vote. If you are registered to vote, make sure you vote. Volunteer. Contact local elected officials and representatives and let them know when you disagree with them and thank them when they do something that you agree with. Most of the time, politicians only get to hear about when they're doing something wrong. Never hurts to send a thank you letter to your local representative when they pass a bill or sign legislation that helps. Work with your neighbors and other members of the community in order to make Springfield a better place to live. Organize meetings and small group discussions of issues with diverse groups of people and come up with a plan for addressing the issues. And always let your civic engagement or community actions be guided by facts and careful deliberation rather than blind ideology, and try to incorporate sustainability into your plans whenever possible. That's like my last 2 lectures of my political sociology class in 3 little pieces right there.
I'm sure your students are thrilled to know they could have gotten that in 4 minutes.
Yeah, I hope none of the ones are taking it in the fall or watching right now. So.
Becky, I got to let you have the final word on this.
Ditto what Mike said. But I encourage young people to be involved on boards. A lot of our United Way agencies have board of directors. They are agencies that are concerned about youth or providing services to youth. I know for a fact every one of these boards would like to have or have a position available for a youth person. So, you know, there's opportunities, like Michael said, out there. It's just identifying, knowing, you know, where to ask. And maybe a Boy Scout can get on the Boy Scout board. That's a comfort. That would make it easier because he knows something about that organization. But I have found the best way to prevent dropouts is mentorship and community service. And when we can provide those types of things to our students, they will stay in school, they will be productive, and they will be ready to take our places in society.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you to our panel for being here today. Thank you so much for coming down and sharing your opinions. Our goal with this project is and continues to be to get real answers to people with big questions. This campaign, Letters to Springfield, is going to continue through the month of August. It's not over just yet. So those of us here at the Library Center, those of you watching at home, if you have a concern, a question, or just a story you want to share, please go to stry.us/story.us/letters and share your letter with us and with Springfield. We'll try to get real answers to your questions. I want to say thank you again to everyone on our panel. I want to give a special thank you to 2 groups of people. One from City Hall, Cora Scott and her entire team behind the scenes, making this live stream happen. Also a very big thank you to the entire library team here. Certainly Kathleen up on the dais, and Tammy Flippin and Heather Cottle-Dillon behind the scenes, who have been instrumental in helping us put this on. Really, from all of us, the story came down here to Springfield to try to capture the voice of Springfield, and we feel so lucky to, through this campaign and through our reporting, to have heard a little more and understood a little more about what's happening here. It really is a remarkable place to be. Thank you to everyone here, and for those of you watching at home, if you missed part of the Letters to Springfield panel tonight, we'll have the entire thing back up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So you can go to our website, stry.us and watch the whole thing. From all of us up here on the panel, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.